Welcome to Finding Monster Right, the show about finding monsters, right?
Right. My name is Adam, and I am out looking for an adventure, more specifically, a house.
And I'm an eyeless, cold-blooded monster, because today I'm playing the Realtor that's going to help Adam find a house.
Hooray!
But there's a specific location that we had in mind for Adam's house.
Is it by the bay?
No.
Is it a mountaintop resort?
No, it's not. So...
Is it a seafront property?
Nope. It's 2020. And Adam, listen to me. The human world, it's a mess. Life under the ground is better than anything they've got up there.
Under the ground. Under the ground.
I had a whole parody planned.
Oh, I'm sorry. I really stomped all over that.
I won't sing this song. It would take too long, and it's parody, but Disney would sue me. Can't cantillate it, but I would have named it Under the Ground.
Very good.
Yeah, no, we're going under the ground for this episode.
The name of the episode is Mole Money, Mole Problems. Invest in Subterranean Realty today.
Yeah, which I don't think I'm asking for an investment in Realty. I think we're just asking you to be a homeowner.
That's an investment, let me tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, real estate's where it's at.
It's all about...
I don't know why I'm selling you on this.
It's all about location, echolocation.
Oh.
Got him.
Wow.
Oh, that was good.
That's good.
I just came up with that.
Yeah, so I'm ready to, get ropered into this.
That was a D&D joke for those of you that, for those of you dice slingers out there.
You might have gotten it.
Yeah. I heard that term for D&D players, dice slingers, and I really enjoy it.
Are they players or are they spectators?
What? Well, like, dice slingers. Like, you sling dice.
Sorry, I'm just being a gibbering mouther.
Oh my god.
Puns are the worst form of humor on Earth.
You are, Adam, you are flaying
I don't want to endorse
mind.
them. What's that?
You are flaying my mind.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's that. I'm saying that because I just want to highlight how zero effort that was.
Yeah, no, if we just kept doing Underdark puns, the listeners might get drowsy. Drow.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, cool. Just checking. Drowsy evolves into Hypno. Remember him? He was great.
Yeah, he's yellow. He's a psychic type that's yellow. It's a good time.
He's very yellow. I just wanted to be laughed at. Okay, whatever. So, anyway, I wanted to start with you, actually.
Me?
Yes. You have some experience with the Hollow Earth theory, and, I think that before we get into, the monster du jour, essentially, are those Underdark dwellers. Your descent monsters, your Morlocks, your dwarves digging too greedily and too deep. Just anything down here in the muck.
Umber Hulks, Hookors, and Mole People.
And Mole People, yes. And in the original Mole People movie from 1956, which has a good MST3K episode for Misties out there, which I'm trying slowly but surely to indoctrinate Adam. I've put the Misty Ceramorphosis tadpole into his brain.
I watched that movie through that lens, and I do not think they did a good job on the topic of the Mole People themselves.
That's fair. The movie's not mostly about that, but the movie does start with this professor of some sort giving a lecture about the history of the Hollow Earth theory, and so I thought it might be nice to talk about, this is a theory that's near and dear to your heart that you're kind of fond of, right?
Yeah, it's something I've wanted to tap for fiction one of these days. But, and yeah, as you mentioned in the movie, he goes over to a whiteboard and shows you several aspects of underground society that would make a way better movie.
It really would.
How if the Earth is concentric, like a bunch of different onion layers, and how every time you kind of go through a different layer, you get to another world of sorts.
Oh my god,
I believe.
I'm just imagining like the YA angle of like you get sorted into which underground world you live in, and each one of them is different in their own distinct way.
Oh man, I'm a core dweller.
Yeah, oh my god.
I'm in the layer that eats glue. I'm the hero layer. I'm the layer that likes books.
I'm the racist layer. Ugh.
Yeah. It's something that
I need to make
Jules
an entire
Verne was
Under the Sea parody about the racist layer now. The racist Earth core.
It's something that Jules Verne was very interested in exploring this type of environment with his work, such as Journey to the Center of the Earth, other films such as Ice Age 3: Dawn of the Dinosaurs, where you go down and hey, there's some almost like the Earth has grown another layer on top of it from prehistoric times. There's other ones that I like where the model has a sun at the center where the core should be, and instead of an concave planet, it's a convex world where the hills lean up and close in on themselves. In the horizon, you don't see mountains; you see land that you can walk to.
So the Earth is literally shaped like a basketball or something, and you can walk around on the inside of the basketball, and there's a sun up there.
Yep, floating in the center of it. Which, yeah, again, I like the aesthetics of it a lot, and I don't know, it's hard to find a scientific explanation for a lot of these ideas. They fall into pseudoscience way swifter than other ways.
Well, there's a Dyson sphere.
Oh, it's true.
A Dyson sphere, for those of you who don't know, is a sci-fi theoretical physics construction where it is a metal shell that's built around a star in order to harvest all of the energy that the star puts out. Imagine like solar panels that got every little piece of sun juice that they could possibly get.
Yeah, and that same type of model is another type of Hollow Earth version where okay, the Earth that we are on now is truly inside of a world, and the sun, moon, and stars are just hanging out in that kind of empty air between us.
Right. That is actually something that we talked about during some of our world building sessions that predecessed Finding Monster Right, to the point where Adam made it his Google Hangouts icon. So, fun fact, every Finding Monster Right episode, it's been a conversation between an Imperial moth and an inside-out planet.
Yep. And to the uninitiated, it might just look like regular planets. But we know.
Because it technically is.
So yeah, there's all kinds of... It gets into kind of a conspiracy base where people try to reach this hollow Earth. And some people say that that's where, like, some fey beings can be found, where UFOs and stuff come from, through holes at the poles, as it's known.
Holes at the poles, that's the John Sims angle.
Yes.
I've actually seen, like, I used to work at as an intern at the Academy of Natural Sciences in Philadelphia. And they had, like, a couple different, like, weird specimens from the Academy archives days and stuff, where they would put a bunch of weird stuff out in the library for a month or so of, like, displays. And one of them was John Sims' original globe with 2 big holes just etched out in the poles. And there would be, like, paths to go in, and there would be an inner globe on the inside.
Yeah, other, like, little tunnels found throughout. But yeah, no, I love weird academia and pieces of antiquity like that have been captured.
There was this one guy. Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, Acanthosaurus. It was a kind of plant discovered by Gerard Smets and named in 1888. and he just discovered these fragments of bones, and he said it was a hadrosaur dinosaur, like a duckbill dinosaur thing, that was between 20 and 30 feet long, and then, and he named it Acanosaurus, and these other scientists looked at it, and they were like, dude, this is from a plant. What are you doing? And he resigned from science.
Oh, man. That's a burn.
He was just like, well, I'm
literally turned in his card for that.
He absolutely turned in his science badge and his science gun.
And he's out there trying to fight plants.
Wait. Gerard Smets, born circa 1857, died after 1895, known for geology, paleontology, science, the misidentification of the plant genus Acanosaurus. Holy shit! Wikipedia is destroying this bicentenarian.
Right. Yeah. So not to dwell too deep into it. Even though I'd love to, because it's a fun subgenre of subterranean fiction. So let's hey, I gotta, my lease is coming up and I need a new house.
So we're gonna conduct this the way that House Hunters is conducted, because I don't know if you've seen this show, but it's a very important good show for good people that aren't horrible at buying houses.
Yes, so I have made up my mind before you this episode was filmed.
Correct.
So try and catch the hint. That's some House Hunter what do we call it? Master theories.
All right, so answer these questions and please include the question in your answer. So what is your name?
My name is Adam.
What is your job?
My job is a mechanical engineer / hollow earthist.
What is some backstory about you?
In the back of my story was a young boy who grew into a much larger boy, who eventually has a beard, and now has once been to the beach and loves to enjoy acceptable interiors.
What are you looking for in a house? And please contradict yourself.
Honestly, I would love a place with lots of footroom. The most important thing is that I have a place for my multiple cars.
Oh my god, it's always with the multiple cars. Sorry.
Yeah, multiple cars are a big thing. You know what? I love granite countertops, and especially if they take up more room than they need to. I'd like to bump my knees on various pieces of furniture throughout the house. And I want to do my laundry in someplace a little different.
Do you have a specific need that's weird, but only kind of weird in a way that if your wife has been coached to act like some kind of stereotypical sitcom wife, she'd be like, that's never happening.
Yeah. So my wife hates my gelatinous cube breeding program, where it's a lot of cloning. It's kind of like people do with plants all the time. I don't see why she doesn't understand that sometimes you can do it with amorphous oozes.
All right. Well, now that we've established what Adam needs in his house, it's time to introduce the real estate agent. It's actually me, the other co-host. I'm here to sell. I'm not here to make friends. I might have given up on House Hunters halfway through and started watching Survivor instead.
Hey, if this is as Underdark as I think it's gonna be, that's not a bad move.
Hey, nobody hooks up on House Hunters. They do on Survivor. And it'd be weird if they did.
This is I want a second bedroom for my mistress. You.
Okay, so the entrance to our first place is located in a giant hole under Seattle.
Wow, Seattle. That's right near my job.
It really is. So, within the Sims hole I think you'll find the first thing is we're looking at a mid-century continental pointy house. Should have looked up types of houses. Oh my gosh. In a largely Sumerian neighborhood.
Oh, okay. Well, I like to hear stories.
Sure. Well, this house has 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. It's currently valued at $1.2 million, and it is catered full staff by beasts of the earth, which are men that have been bred into degeneracy. They look like they have a weird butthole face and not like a mole, but they are called the mole people for some reason.
I see. I also noticed that they have a hunch on the back of their head.
That's actually just a football that's been shoved into the top of their shirts, so that like you can play. No. So they're just holding it up there.
They're handy and athletic.
They are.
So you said that they. How many are there that come with the house?
There are actually 3, and they all need a different bedroom. So you will be sleeping in one of the bathrooms, but it's nice and wet and just covered in tasty bioluminescent fungus.
Oh, that's great. We don't have to worry about any mold.
And that way you can have a light diet. Dumb.
So I imagine you wrote that before we had our embargo on puns.
No, I just came up with that now.
Oh, great.
I don't
follow. I'm allowed to be mad at you.
Look, I'm not here to make friends.
I understand. How big is the bed?
The bed is actually a pile of dirt. Or maybe just like some coffee grounds.
Whoa. When I first went to the bedroom, I wasn't expecting coffee grounds, and the fact that it was a bathroom.
We can also note that this house, despite having a very expansive backyard, is actually very close to the Temple of Ishtar, which is a Babylonian name for the Sumerian goddess Inanna, and I don't know why they decided to call her that in the movie, but they did. The movie's about Sumerians. Why is it called Ishtar?
We passed that on the way here. I thought it was a Pokemon gym.
It kind of is. That they have a weird triangle-y thing that they hold up a lot.
Yeah, as they do in Johto.
As they do in Johto. The other thing that we do need to watch out for with the Sumerians is occasionally Inanna gets mad and raises vampires from the dead. That doesn't have anything to do with mole people, but hey, it is dark down here, so,
Do the vampires come by?
I have to imagine they mostly feast on the mole people and the people that are supposed to be Middle Eastern, but they're actually just very white.
I see.
But apparently not white enough for the 1950s censors who are just doggedly watching out for the Hays Code.
Well, I will, happily invite them in if they get me an extra bedroom.
Anyway.
I've got some quirky neighbors.
Anyway, let's check out the basement. Congratulations, you've been checking out the basement this whole time.
I was gonna say, now that's a surprise.
There's also a place where there's just a bunch of people sewing, and a place where there's just a bunch of people whipping goats.
Now, as I was looking through this place, I was starting to ask myself, where am I going to put the gelatinous cube breeding ground? It requires several large tanks. Do you know where I could find a place for these cubes?
Well, I might recommend the fenced-in backyard with a fire pit and a pit full of cube juice, where you can just pour some battery acid in there for the gelatinous cubes to eat.
Oh wow, it really feels like a slice of Americana.
It's Sumericana, actually.
Oh wow, it really feels like a slice of Sumericana.
There you
actually.
go. Perfect. Good. Now it's right. You'll also notice that within the interior we actually have the walls entirely painted with Egyptian hieroglyphics. Again, they're supposed to be Sumerian. Why do they have Egyptian hieroglyphics? Moving on.
Whoa, hang on. What's up with the color of this door?
That door you actually don't want to use. That is the door to the Fire of Ishtar, which is just outside, but, we don't really do that here.
At first I was concerned about the color, then I was concerned about where it was going. But I thought to myself, hey, you know what? Outside, underground, great place to raise my cubes.
How many cubes do you have, if I can ask?
Oh, I hope to have a lot more.
Currently, about 20.
Well, that's a lot of large-sized gelatinous cubes that just kind of waft invisibly through dungeons and swallow people and digest them with acid.
Yeah, my wife hates it. But it's a hobby. My father was a cube raiser. One day I went into his bedroom, and all that was left was a cube.
Wow. Anyway...
Are we on to our next house?
We are actually going to move on to our next house just as soon as this parade of talpathropes is out of the way. That's the proper term for mole people, you see.
Ah, right. They travel in parades.
Well,
are they noisy?
They're actually revolting against the brutal slave system that we've enacted. See, somebody gave them a flashlight and it all went to hell. This happens. This happens. Hey, and you know what? It's all part of life under the ground. There's nothing toxic where it's hypoxic under the ground, you know?
Hey, you can't choose where you live.
But you can live where you choose.
Yes, I can. Right.
You can't choose where you live, but you can live where you choose. That's what we always say in the business.
Great. Let's see the other options.
Our next house is actually a thermonuclear illithid chamber.
Oh no!
Located in the scenic Underdark. This dungeon is well known as as excellent for all of your various plans to eat people's brains and take over the world.
Where's it located under?
It's actually located also under Seattle.
Oh, right near my work.
Yes.
Are there any mole people here?
No. There are like a million different kinds of weird monsters and shit, though, because the illithids really don't know what they're doing. They just kind of make a weird brain monster and then just assume they did a good job and they leave and try to conquer the next world. It's no wonder they get overthrew them, sure. And
I'll tell you right now, neighbors with loud pets is a real game changer.
Well, let's go through. So, after we exit the guard room, the first room that we will enter is the library/dissection chamber.
Wow! Look at all those books.
Those are knives.
Oh, wow!
These are the books.
Those are some dangerous books.
They really are. Although I do feel as though this might be excellently converted into a gelatinous cube breeding facility because you can just dissect a cube and then breed it.
Not bad thinking.
All right. Well, hang on. We haven't reached the main feature of the house, though.
Should I mention my budget?
Yes. Why don't we go ahead with that?
My budget is $50,000.
Well, this house is actually going for $80 gajillion.
It's a little outside our price range, but it's got so many features.
It's actually what you're going to choose anyway, despite being outside of your price range.
Well, hang on. We've got a couple more houses to see.
We do, but we decided ahead of time.
What's across the hall from the library?
Well, the next major thing is going to be the resting pool.
Wow!
This is just a giant hot tub where the mind flayers, these octopus men from space, just hang out and rest in a pool.
You know what? My wife would love this.
she's actually a Sumerian seamstress.
Oh, wow.
So this would be perfect for her, after a long day of work.
After a long day of seaming.
Yes.
Seamsting. Now if we go up here, we have the Brain Library. Now you might be asking, isn't it a little inconvenient to have the Brain Library so far away from the dissection hall? Yeah, and that's maybe a weakness of the house, but also just think of the flow of the house, kind of. Think of the patterns that exist within the foot traffic of the old world hardwood floors. I've gone insane. I've lost my mind to house hunters.
Well,
yes.
Well, hang on. This is starting to get a little weird.
Yes.
What's up with the color of this carpet?
Oh, that's actually something that we might have to renovate. That is colored in order to best accentuate the fluid that the brains need to survive outside of their bodies.
Oh, well, my wife has been saying she's been wanting to get into vulturing. So, you know what? It occurs to me I should have brought her with me.
That would have made sense, but we haven't had a guest on this podcast yet, and we're not sure how that would work because we don't even know what we're doing when there's not a guest.
You know what? I think it's a decision that I don't want to trouble her with.
That's good reality TV thinking.
You said there's another room?
Yes, there is actually. This was okay. I don't know how you feel about kids. Or did I say cubes? I don't know how you feel about kids or cubes, but this is the perfect place for both. Welcome to the tadpole chamber.
So, when I first walked in here, I thought, whoa, I never want to leave.
And you won't. You see, so the elder brain in charge of there is a homeowners association in the form of an elder brain, I should mention. The elder brain actually does dictate that the tadpoles have to stay with the house. And those tadpoles are actually necessary for elliptic reproduction. You and your wife might be infected with some of these tadpoles and turned into mind flayers while your former brain is ejected and put into a brain chamber to scream in agony for 10,000 years. But also, check out the crown molding on the walls. You can see that's actually Austrian style, very 1850s.
Well, let me tell you, I hate the rules, but I love the style. This is a room I could see myself spending all my time here.
The elder brain also dictates that all of your shutters have to be off-white, not plain white, and there's no air conditioning.
Yeah, just nothing new here. It feels like I'm already at home.
All right, I think we have some good options with that. Let's move on.
Now, is there a place where I can get an industrial amount of ice around here?
Well, I do have some ideas about industry. Just hop in this time machine.
A what?
Just hop in this time machine.
Well, sometimes house hunting is like an adventure. Okay, let's go.
Alright, so this is actually the year 800,000 some, or whatever, and our next house is actually in a Morlock neighborhood.
Oh, I see.
Yes, the Morlocks were created in the late 1800s to serve as a metaphor for the plight of the working class and its destiny to become a bunch of cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers that eat the rich.
Now, I gotta ask, what are Morlocks?
Well, Morlocks are...
We just had a commercial, please tell me again.
Oh, yeah. Well, Morlocks were created in the 1800s by H.G. Wells to serve as a metaphor for the plight of the working class. And they are great at volleyball, and they eat the rich, who dwell on the surface, but we don't need to worry about that. This is also the perfect place for industry. It is a mechanical engineer's paradise in this neighborhood. And that is why...
As a member of the working class, I think we're going to be quick friends.
Sorry, I'll need to clip that out. I was just unplugging my phone.
As a member of the working class, I think we'll be fast friends.
Do we want to say that again a third time, but we want to use a different synonym for the word quick or fast?
Okay. I'm a member of the working class, but I want to be fast... friends.
Alright, good. So, let's begin. So this is a craftsman is actually going for $800,000 some dollars, and it has 15 bedrooms and 15 bathrooms. No kitchen, but a laundry room, a balcony, and no stairs. What am I? It just occurred to me that sounded like a riddle. We're in the dark. It's kind of the thing we do down here.
Yeah, I understand that. Is this Wayside School?
Is that school from the Nickelodeon, or is that the real school from real life?
No, it's, the Nickelodeon school.
Yes.
Where they built it wrong.
No, I know.
Oh boy.
That incredibly realistic depiction of elementary school management, where they built an entire school wrong and everything is screwy.
Yeah, that's the one. No, it reminds me of that time.
It is actually extremely similar, yes.
That's enough bedrooms for each of my breeding pairs of cubes, and one for me and my wife.
Which are also kind of a breeding pair of cubes, if you think about it. Aren't we all?
No, we sleep in separate rooms.
Oh. That's the weirdest thing you've said so far.
We're going through a rough patch. I try not to talk about it. Instead, let's... I'm trying to do a little retail therapy on a new home for us.
Hang on. Sorry, realtor co-host. It's producer co-host. We need to actually pull Adam aside briefly.
Oh yeah. Hey, what's up?
Okay, so we actually think the ratings would go really good if you kept talking about this rough patch you're going through with your wife, and we're gonna need you to answer some questions and also restate the question in your answer. Okay, so first question: why do you think you and your wife are going through a rough patch?
Well, my wife and I are going through a rough patch. I have no idea why. It might be the 24 breeding pairs of gelatinous cubes I have.
The number keeps going up.
Well, that means they're doing their job.
What do you think you're doing wrong?
Sometimes I think the strained relationship I have with her sister is why things are going wrong.
Why are you the way that you are?
You know what? I think I'm the way that I am because of the fact that my gelatinous cubes ate her sister.
What deity do you worship, if any at all? And do you think they'd be proud of you?
I'm actually a worshiper of Ishtar, and I think they're very proud of me.
That actually scans. Alright, proceed. We tried to break him and it just didn't work.
So, tell me more about this house. Is there any... Are there any more bedrooms I haven't heard about?
Yes, there are actually 9 more bedrooms for a total of 24 bedrooms.
Wow, this place keeps showing more surprises.
There is no kitchen, as I've described, but there is a laundry room, and you can just clean all of your food in the washing machine. It's like having a kitchen.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. Different way to do laundry.
There's also a lot of gears and steam.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hang on. Are you telling me that this is a place with both gears and steam?
I am, and it would actually be extremely beneficial. It's very environmentally friendly to turn gears and steam a lot so that the Aloy can have food, and then you can go up to the top, to the surface, and hunt Aloy. It's kind of the national pastime around here.
Well, let me tell you, I like working from home, but this is getting a little ridiculous.
Our asking price is $800,000 gajillion.
And it's over budget, too? Well, I guess I have to look at the full package.
But there is air
What's
conditioning.
the outside look like? Yeah, wow.
There's an air conditioning unit outside, and that's actually all that there is outside. And also a fire pit, but no backyard. Not sure how that works. It's kind of a chronospatial thing.
I see. Do you think, will the time machine aspects have any negative repercussions on my life in the present?
Not if you go into the future, no. You just can't go into the past, because as soon as you go into the past, the future does become one of infinite possibilities and disappear into the fifth dimension. So you actually need to decide now whether or not this house is a yes or a no. And if you decide yes, I can't go home.
I see. Well, I think it's time to decide. Can you recap the three houses really quick? And all the features that they had.
Well,
or really, the highlight features and my main problems that they were.
So the first house was a mid-century Sumericana house. I forget how many bedrooms there were.
2 bedrooms, I recall.
There were 2 bedrooms, 3 baths, and the asking price was $1.2 million. It was in a Sumerian neighborhood, and it was very close to the Temple of Ishtar. Interesting, it's also close to the Alpha Omega Bomb Catholic Church from Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
That's where my parents worship.
Yeah, that's very good. That sounds like a very good location then. And then our second house was the Mind Flayer Laboratory / breeding chamber, which was also located not far from your mechanical engineering job in the Drow districts.
Yes, I had a few issues with some of the carping decisions. And it was you said something to the tune of like $700 quintillion?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then
right.
And then for our last visit, that's where we are now. There are actually 72 discrete bedrooms, and it's actually one of the bedrooms has actually evolved some kitchen-like qualities in the in-between time between when we started talking and finished. Time travel is really weird and hurts my grammar.
That place just keeps having more surprises.
It really will surprise you, and isn't that what you want in a house?
Well, I think we've made up our mind. I'm speaking for my wife, of course.
Right, because you have problems.
I'm pausing for the commercial. Okay, we've made up our mind. We're going with the Illithid ship.
Hooray!
It's far outside of our price range, and we're not crazy about the interior, but it seems like a perfect place to raise our cubes. And become, close friends with the Elder Brain, and all that he wants.
The last shot of the episode, as the credits roll by, is just a tadpole crawling into your wife's ears.
Oh, she's dead.
Oh.
The cubes ain't her, too.
Oh my, well. This is going to be an interesting problem for the Elder Brain to have to solve. Another successful subterranean house thing. I did a good job. I am a realtor.
Yeah, that's the thing. The realtor always wins at the end of House Hunters. Even if the couple clearly doesn't know what they're doing.
I also mentioned that no matter which house you would have picked, I probably would have had a bunch of purple worms come up and eat it.
Ah, right. Well, just a little purple worm this time. And it was me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a We really got to business there.
We really got to business, and I think we learned a lot about some underground societies and stuff. Now, I did want to take us back. We've talked about pseudoscience. We've talked about fantasy. I want to talk about real science.
Oh, man. Here we go.
With my science segment. My as-of-yet unnamed science segment. You know what? No, the last time it was called Throwing Science Shade, and that also applies here in a different way. It's definitely shady.
Throw that shade. What do you got?
I wanted to talk about a couple of different real-world troglofauna, meaning fauna, animals that live in caves, troglos, as the Greeks call them.
Of course.
And there are 3 animals that I found a very unique monstery connection.
Troglos are Rob Lowe's twin brothers he doesn't like to talk about.
Right. The cavemen that he found frozen in the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Troglos. So the first animal that I want to talk about is called the olm. Proteus anguinus. The olm. Adam, do you know what an olm is? Without looking it up, I want you to guess.
It's not in D&D, is it? It's a real science thing.
It's a real animal from life.
Okay. I'm picturing like a blob, and there's a red dot that glows inside of it. It kind of looks like a tadpole, but it never got very far.
You are correct.
No, wow.
That is exactly what an olm is.
Okay.
An olm is a kind of long, blind cave salamander that lives in the water, and much like the axolotl and the mud puppies of North America, it is adapted to live only in water. It's what we call Stygiofauna. There's troglofauna if it is air-breathing and lives in a cave, and Stygiofauna if it lives in the water in a cave.
Wow. All right. Yeah, I know the axolotl pretty well. And maybe that's what that same root is what kind of tripped my memory. I didn't say salamander-ish, though, or anything like that.
You did say a tadpole that never did a good job, and that is exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
But the reason it has a monster connection, there's 2 things that I found interesting about it, about the connection that it has with the local people of the Western Balkan Peninsula around Slovenia and Croatia and that general area. The first one is that it is sometimes called the human fish.
Because that's not good.
Well, are you looking at a picture of an olm right now? Possibly the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I'm looking at a very long salamander creature.
It does have that kind of oddly Caucasian human skin color.
I see what you're saying, yes. Maybe saying skin instead of human might be better.
Just imagine it wriggling around, doing weird, gross things.
I'm trying not to.
It's the best. It's my favorite. It's also, supposedly, there was a kind of belief. It's one of those things that might just be like, thunder's just angels bowling type thing, where it's like, it's a fun thing you say, but you don't really believe it. Like a superstition. But it's supposed to be the offspring of a cave dragon.
I doubt that superstition.
But imagine just dragons are normally pretty arrogant and stuff. If you have to start out as one of these guys,
yeah, it's a real kobold situation. Now I could totally see these worshiping a dragon and saying we're your kin, and the dragon's like, yeah, I'll let you hang out outside. I'll let you hang out at in a couple cave rooms over, but don't ever stop by.
There is there are a couple interesting things about the olm, how it has electroreceptory properties. It can actually it can sense electricity in the water. It has rudimentary lungs that are just kind of there because it forgot to totally get rid of them.
Oh, okay. He's got a couple wisdom teeth lungs.
Yeah. It's also predicted to live over 100 years.
Predicted. they have a couple in a tank, and they're like, he made it to 50. I think he can do twice this.
I think that might literally be it, because otherwise, like, how would you keep track of what an individual ohm is doing in some cave somewhere, and you can't really predict...
They saw a big one, they cut it in half, read the rings.
Yeah.
And they're like, these are some tiny rings. It might be between, 60 and 100. But yeah, no, they're, I like a lot of, I think they make good pets.
They would make incredible pets. That would actually be so fun, to have a weird human fish.
Yeah. Just kind of watch them wiggle around. Yeah. They look like a fun time. And they got like a greyhound kind of snout.
They do have some very big greyhound energy. You know how greyhounds always look like they're wrong?
Yeah, they look a little like they were rendered incorrectly.
There are some dog breeds that just look super like a wrong wolf, and a greyhound is one of them. And I think an Olm is another kind of weird dog.
Do you think that was one of the proto names for dogs?
Olm.
No, I'm raising a wrong wolf.
Oh.
Look at the legs on my wrong wolf.
You know what dachshund is? Dachs is German for badger. Dachshunds are supposed to hunt badgers. Now, as someone that used to really pride themselves on which animal would win in a fight, I gotta say badger takes that every time.
Yeah, I don't know how. Maybe if there's a bunch of them.
Oh man, what a terrifying day for the badger.
Yeah, but I feel like the badger would like build fortifications like in Minecraft. That's a beaver. Hang on.
Wait.
Yeah. Hang on. I'm reassessing. So I nailed the ohm, but my badger brain went to beaver.
You're only allowed to have one correct animal fact per day.
Yeah. Oh no, badger totally. They got war paint. Like they'll fight a swarm of dachshunds, no problem.
Absolutely. Now, I did want to move on to one of our remaining two animals here. One of our two remaining cave dwellers.
Okay.
And that is the vampire bat.
Oh, of course.
I had to go with a classic.
Yeah, big fruit diet? Yes?
No. No fruit diet.
Small animal diet?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Well, they don't eat. They're some. They photosynthesize.
Well, I have some very interesting news for you.
They photosynthesize in their dark caves, right?
Yep.
All right. Cool. Third animal. No. What's up with what's their diet consist of?
They are entirely hematophagous. They eat only blood and water.
That come from slot machines.
Yes. Okay, you gotta stop. You know where it comes from.
I'm out of Vegas. Right?
Hematophagous?
Yeah.
Hematophagous. Hemato, blood, phagi, the act of eating. The act of eating blood.
Yep. Got it.
Now, you're well familiar that not all bats are vampire bats.
Yeah, some are very small, some are very big. And they eat all kinds of stuff. Lots of insects.
Yeah.
Frequently.
Bats are very helpful. Now, I want you to guess, how many kinds of bats are there in the world? And how many of those are vampire bats?
Okay, can I guess a percentage?
Yes.
Like 75%.
You're going to say 75% of bats are vampire bats.
Either 75% are or 75% aren't. I feel like it's an extreme in one way or the other, and that extreme.
Okay. Well, let me just do some quick math here. So, the actual answer is there are 1,400 species of bat and 3 species of vampire bat. So that is...
Wow, very small percent.
0.21%.
Yeah.
And they are restricted to Central and South America. So, the bats in places of the world where most people live That's not insensitive to say, right? More people live outside of Central and South America than inside
Yeah,
it.
I think I've seen that graph. So what you're saying is in Transylvania, Dracula's not changing into, he's changing into some kind of, like, insect-eating bat.
Right, yeah. Well, in Eastern Europe, they do have vampire moths.
So are you saying that there's, like, some smoke and mirrors, he's really turning into a moth every night?
Oh my gosh, what if he's Mothman?
Oh, hey, well, we've written an episode for ourselves.
We do need to keep up with that. That genus of moth that is the vampire moth is called Calyptra, by the way. But another interesting thing about the vampire bat is that they are the only mammals and the only vertebrates besides snakes that can detect infrared radiation because they feed on warm-blooded animals.
Wow, that's handy. That would definitely come in handy in a cave society.
Really is. Also, while I'm spouting bat facts, did you know that bats have great eyesight?
Oh, I heard that the exclusive echolocation was a myth of sorts.
Yeah,
they can kind of see pretty okay.
They can see okay. It's not crazy good, but it's okay. They also love grooming each other.
Oh, it's picking off the bugs.
Picking off the bugs, just cleaning each other. I actually worked with vampire bats when I worked at the zoo.
Oh man, did they know how rare they were?
They did.
Did you tell them that they were special?
I did. I love my sky puppies. It was fun. It was a fun system at the zoo because the University of Pennsylvania Veterinary School actually donates cattle blood for the vampire bats to feed on, and they serve them in these little dishes, and they just put them down on the ground and let the bats fly around and eat them. And it's just blood and water, and that is what they feed on.
Wow, that's just like my ex-wife. Yeah.
There's also
do you have one more animal to close this out with?
Yes, there is the best one. I did want to say that vampire bats have an anticoagulant in their spit to encourage blood flow, and it's called Draculin.
Funny enough, name before Dracula.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Well, no.
Yeah. People don't know that Bram Stoker was a science folker, and during the Year Without a Summer, he really got into the textbooks and found out that fact, to which he later can create the entire character of Dracula.
Yeah, no, real facts.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like I'm undercutting your segment by lying.
That's all that science is just people telling the truth and other people lying.
Oh, so it's an authentic experience.
Yes, it is.
All right.
I gotta say about the Draculin stuff, though, when you're a scientist and you have a good opportunity to name something that isn't terrible, you're like, yes, because you can only use a name once, and you better use it on something good.
Yeah, sure. And I as a DM, I appreciate pulling from pop culture at the right time.
There's a very important developmental gene called Sonic Hedgehog, because someone found a gene and just called it Sonic Hedgehog, and now doctors have to tell their parents, or not their own parents, doctors have to tell parents that, their child has a birth defect because of a mutation in the Sonic Hedgehog gene. It is a mess. And, there have been people that have proposed renaming it, and they're they followed all the rules. We have to do it.
Gotta go swift!
Whoa! Anyway, so our last and most powerful monster that is a real animal from life is the sand puppy. More commonly known as the naked mole rat.
Oh, that makes sense a lot. Now, bad eyesight. Yes?
Yes, I believe. Yes, no, its eyes are completely glazed over.
Yeah, there ain't nothing happening there.
No, it is just skin. But that is not one of the naked mole rat's powers.
Its powers are helping out the guy that helps out Kim Possible.
Correct. That is the sitch. As someone who has had the Kim Possible ringtone for 10 years, I have to concede that the naked mole rats are my favorite for maybe that reason.
Okay.
Maybe, as if there's doubt. So, naked mole rats are very well adapted, more than any other mammal, to a low oxygen environment.
I'm tempering myself to not just make nonstop Kim Possible jokes. I'm like, yeah, low oxygen and the cargo pants. Diet consists of like nachos.
They would eat nachos.
Yes. So they can get around without too much air, is what you're saying?
Can get around without too much air, and they're cold-blooded. They live in a eusocial system that's more like an ant or a bee than any other kind of mammal. And their low oxygen adaptations mean that they can actually survive in a zero oxygen environment for up to 18 minutes.
Oh, well, I thought that was a little more impressive. 18 minutes is really good. I'm not punishing them for that, but I thought it was going to be like 18 years.
Well, how about this? They live 10 times longer than similarly sized surface rodents.
Oh, that is impressive.
And that is because that is actually evidence in favor of the oxidation theory of aging, that life didn't evolve with oxygen. Once plants started photosynthesizing and started producing oxygen in mass quantities as a byproduct, they really kind of filled the atmosphere with poison, essentially, and animals needed to adapt or die.
Yeah, and it was filled with that at a rate at which they could kind of adapt, right?
Yeah. And the point is that life didn't evolve in the presence of oxygen. That came as a consequence of life, and other life forms had to adapt to it. And as a result, since we're not really made to function in an oxygenated environment, as if anything is intended for anything, but oxygen wears away your telomeres, like the far ends of all your chromosomes, and degrades your DNA, and that's why whenever your body replaces a new segment of skin or a new bit of bone or whatever, it comes back just a little shittier until you die. That's the theory, at least.
Yeah, so because they don't care too much about this oxygen, they're replacing the shittier parts at a slower rate.
Exactly. They also don't feel pain.
Oh, well, that's wow.
They just don't feel pain. You can poke them in the skin. You can scratch them with a little razor, and they don't know. They just don't care. They move on.
I think they get a bad rep because of their physical appearance. But there's a lot to love about these little rats.
There really is. They're also acid resistant.
Whoa, hang on.
Here's the thing. If you're not breathing enough oxygen, you're getting a lot of carbon dioxide going on. That's going to be a lot of carbonic acid buildup. And so you need to be resistant to that acid.
I feel like if I was building a stat block, this would be a very tough creature to fight. Or it's done all the work for me.
It really has, but I mean, well, surely there is only one way to kill a naked mole rat, and that is to infect it with disease. You bet, right?
Well, you know what? I would say that, and I will.
All right, I'm glad that we've established the conjugation of the verb to be.
Yeah, we are filling the correct amount of time for house hunters.
Yeah. But, no, disease doesn't work. You know why? Naked mole rats, they pretty much just don't get cancer.
Pretty much?
There have been there was a study that found it for the first time in 2016 in some zoo specimens, but in their native habitats, they don't get cancer. It just doesn't happen. Yeah. And part of that is because...
Why would they get cancer? All their body's like, you know what? It's on a permanent vacation. They're like, I don't need no air, feeling my best life. Why would I go rogue?
Well, there are a couple different categories of reasons why naked mole rats just generally do not get cancer. They have ribosomes that produce extremely error-free proteins. Again, with that oxygen eating away at your DNA, means that your DNA can't mutate in a way that would create a cancerous region of the body, a tumor. And so tumors just don't happen. So that is one of a complete list of naked mole rat superpowers. I want to say there's more. I have to say there's more.
Yeah, I'm sure they can do anything.
I think they can actually do anything. So that's why I want to take the naked mole rat into the final rating place. Of all the monsters, we have chosen the real kind of rodent.
Yeah, after everything... No, I didn't hear everything. So I can't give it a perfect score. But I will happily give Naked Mole Rat an 8 out of 10.
I think I'm going to give it a 10 out of 8.
You did this last time, and I think your logic will not be as good as last time's. What is your logic?
My logic this time is that I've dug under the rating system and found a secret previously heretofore with unknown rating system.
There you go. Okay, great. So thank you for joining us for another episode as we now emerge into the sunlight in somewhere that is different than we've seen before.
Thank you for digging too greedily and too deep with us on House Hunters. And if you also feel like flying out in the dead of night and just scraping your pronounced incisors into some kind of mammal and just reveling in the feeling of the life force as it flows into your mouth and you drink the very soul of this beast, you can follow us on Twitter at Finding Monster Right Pod.
At Monster Right Pod.
At Monster Right Pod. Finding Monster Right Pod.
That's a long at.
Is it? What is our Twitter handle? You're the one that runs it.
At Monster Right Pod.
At Monster Right Pod.
Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast as well.
Yep. And is that about it?
That's it. We will see you next time.